Thank you very much, Startup Lithuania. Good afternoon. One of our earlier speakers today talked about the death zone for startups. This is the post-lunch session, which invariably is the death zone. So can I request everybody to stand up, please? Let's just get some life into the room. So I want this side of the room. I'm going to be talking about how to get the most out of accelerators. So I want this side of the room to say, when I do this, to say Accel, and this side of the room to say Raters. Is that easy enough? OK. Accel! Rater, loud, come on, guys. This is not the startup zone type of thing we should be doing. Accel! Raters! Accel! Raters! Great. This is going to be the shortest talk you hear today. You can all sit down. Thank you very much. That's how you get the most out of startups. Thank you. Bye-bye. Just kidding. Good afternoon again. My name is Kartik Varma. I run the Barclays Accelerator in the fintech space in London, powered by Techstars. And I'm delighted to be here in Vilnius for Startup Lithuania. First of all, let me just start off by talking about a workable definition of what is an accelerator. Many of us probably have different views of what an accelerator means. So one of the things I did was I looked up just some common definitions, and I put together this slide, which was put together by a friend of Techstars, a gentleman called Ian Hathaway, in an article that he wrote in the Harvard Business Review. And this is just a summary of what an accelerator is. So there's typically a cohort in an accelerator. They typically take a class of anywhere from 8 to 15 number of companies, and the programs are structured as either 3 months or 6 months, typically about 3 months or so. And it culminates in something called a demo day, when everybody just presents the pitch to the local investment ecosystem, potentially some clients, potentially some angel investors as well. And what is it that you're really getting out of an accelerator? Well, there's 3 things I've mentioned over here. You're getting a very immersive education. You're getting a lot of mentorship. And for young startup entrepreneurs like that little child over there, you're also potentially getting some funding. So you're in the right place, sir, with your child. But on top of that, I'd just like to say that the education is not like classroom training. You're sitting in high school or you're sitting in college and you're attending a lecture. This is not about pleasing the professor or pleasing the teacher. This is about doing the right thing for your company and creating a lot of value for your company rather than giving the right answer all the time. Sometimes giving the wrong answer or stumbling into an answer in the wrong way can potentially lead to a very, very happy outcome. It's all about learning by doing. You're running a lot of experiments during the 90 days or 180 days that you're spending at the accelerator. So that's what the program in a well-structured way is all about. How do I know this? Because I work for Techstars. The Techstars Worldwide Network helps entrepreneurs succeed. We've done over 175 accelerator classes across the world. Currently, we're running over 45 accelerator programs in this year across the world. We've had 178 exits, and our portfolio is worth $19 billion. And here are some successes of companies that have been through an accelerator, and that's what I'm going to base some of my talk on. We've got companies like SendGrid, which is the only company that's actually been through an accelerator and had an IPO. It was a $1 billion IPO. More recently, there was a company called PillPack that was bought by Amazon, and it was a company that was born out of a startup weekend. So the whole process of acceleration actually works, and that's the evidence that I want to present to you. I finished my first accelerator program for the 10 fintech companies just 3 weeks ago, so a lot of my learnings are very fresh. And here's actually a good summary of what I want you to take away, but I'm not going to read everything over here. Just as from Manitha talked about, it's a bad idea to read everything that's on the slide, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to give you some key highlights for you to take away. And one of the things he also said was, people have a fear of death, or people have a fear of public speaking. Hopefully, I don't have any of that. I just have a fear of my voice right now cracking because I've got a bad cough. So just be patient with me in case you hear me cracking, my voice cracking, rather. There are 3 most important things I want you to take away in terms of how to get the success for your company if you're a participating company in an accelerator. The first is time management. The second is just have a very open mind. And the third is just do a lot more faster, because it's a very compressed time frame, and hopefully, if you're using the accelerator well, you're going to be able to achieve in 90 days what typically would take you over a year and a half to achieve. But this is a summary of what I want to cover. So the first thing I want to talk about on this list is trust the process. If you're joining an accelerator that's actually been running for a while, hopefully their operating system has been very well polished, it's been very well practiced, and they're iterating all the time. There are many things you'll find frustrating. There are many things you'll say, oh, I know this already, but trust the process. The accelerator program knows what they're doing, and just completely buy into whatever it is that they're offering you. A few of the things that you'll find frustrating are relating to things like time management. There's always too much going on. You're going to be very pressed for time. You're going from one event to another event. You're going from one mentor session to another mentor session. You've got to run your company in parallel as well. Where are you going to find the time to do all this? Well, hopefully, you can cut down and compromise on sleep. Rather than sleeping 8 hours a day, maybe if you can sleep for 6.5 hours or 7 hours a day, well, that gives you at least 7 hours extra per day. That's almost half a working day that you can get to be able to accommodate all the different activities that you need to during the accelerator program. The other challenge you're going to have is you're going to struggle with digesting all the different things that are coming your way. A well-structured accelerator program is going to have a lot of content and programming, and it's going to have a lot of meetings, and you're going to be learning a lot from your peers, and you're going to be learning a lot from the VCs and angels who you meet. Chances are you're going to be doing a lot of meetings every day. So by the end of the week, you would have probably done about 25 to 40 meetings. And it's a challenge to digest everything. And you just have to pace yourself well and have a game plan on how you're going to do that. I want to move on to looking for value in everything that you do during the program. If an accelerator has been well run and has a lot of experience, and like I said, they know what they're doing, there's probably value in every kind of interaction that the accelerator is creating for you. And that means the kind of interactions that you're going to have with mentors, with sponsors. Sponsors could mean people like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft or Google for Entrepreneurs or law firms. It could also mean people who are giving you the space. It could mean angel investors. It could mean founders who are coming to talk to you. There's some value that you can get from every event and activity that the accelerator is organizing for you. Rather than be cynical and say, oh, I've done this before, oh, I know this already, oh, I've met this person already, I think you'll do a better job for your company and your co-founding team and your entire team if you go with a very open mind and experience everything with just the intellectual honesty that the accelerator helps you to have or expects you to have. And then you need to be entrepreneurial enough during the program to look for value in the right places. Part of what you also do is try to figure out how can I customize what the speaker is saying to what is relevant for me, and that's how you can actually search for value as well. You've got to value your time. Right at the start of the session, I said time management is very important. If it's a 90-day program that you're working under, every day is about 1.1% of your life during that program. If you waste a day, or if you just waste a day having a very long lunch, just not getting a lot out of a lunch session, or not getting a lot out of a particular meeting, or you decide you sleep in one day, that could mean the loss of close to 1% every day. That's 8% a week. And if you're going to give up some equity, which most reasonable accelerators will take, and you're going to waste your time, then it's a complete waste of equity on your cap table and your time, and you're doing a disservice for yourself. So just watch your time very, very, very carefully. That's your most scarce resource during the accelerator program. And so use your day to your full potential. Get all the rapid feedback that you're getting. Do all the iteration. Run a lot of short, quick, rapid experiments that will help you get to the answer a lot quicker. And don't be afraid of feedback. And at the end, one of the things that I liked my companies to do was do this mental exercise that you've reached demo day, and it's the 91st day after the accelerator has finished, and you're looking back, and you're doing a postmortem of the program at that point in time and saying, did I get the most out of it or not? And if you have any regrets that you didn't get the most out of it, then what is it that you're going to watch out for? So I encourage all the companies joining an accelerator to do a pre-mortem around, it's the day after demo day and things didn't go right, what did we do wrong? And if you can imagine the things that can go wrong, then try and preempt those and work towards that before you join the accelerator. An accelerator is all about engagement and a lot of interaction. You'll probably have a class and cohort of companies along with you. There's someone who's contributing to the program all the time. It could be a peer group. It could be, like I said, a sponsor. And engage with a lot of those people. Being in an accelerator program is not about being shy and sitting on one corner of the room and not engaging with people. You really want to get out of your comfort zone and take a lot of intellectual risk and do a lot of debating and do a lot of engagement with domain experts, technology experts, functional area skill experts like marketing or Google AdWords or something else related to the legal side of IP protection, etc. So just get out of your comfort zone to engage a lot with different people. And you'll realize that these good discussions will stick on in your mind, and many weeks and months after the accelerator is finished, if you're running into a particular topic that you feel you already discussed in the accelerator, at least you'll feel a little bit more comfortable with the vocabulary around those topics, as well as you can access your own hard drive, your brain, and say, oh, who spoke to me over the accelerator program that I attended, and who can I go back to? And you'll find that to be very, very interactive. And unless you speak up, you're not going to get a lot of feedback on your ideas or your thoughts. And if you put yourself out there and expose yourself, then you can get a lot of critical feedback from people who only have one thing on their mind, which is your success. So I'd encourage everyone to speak up if they're in an accelerator. So much about being in an accelerator is just serendipity and optionality and putting yourself at the crossroads of a particular area where luck can find you, and you can find luck as well. And how you can expose yourself to optionality is take every meeting you get and at least try and figure out how is it that can be useful for you. And there's no problem. Nobody's going to look at you as very greedy or selfish. They know you're in an accelerator. They know that you're trying to get something out of a meeting. And most mentors, at least Techstars, have a very give-first philosophy and mentality. And what you want to do is expose yourself to as many people, because you may just meet that mentor who's willing to be either an angel investor or introduce you to a potential angel who's done a lot of investments in that particular area, or introduce you to somebody at a large company with whom you want to pilot or a proof of concept kind of contract. And that's not going to happen unless you're not going there with an open mind to expose yourself to a lot of optionality. And I think one of the important things about taking risks it relates to take all those shots. It's a very low-risk environment for you to be in the accelerator program. Nobody's going to grade you or give you a report at the end of it saying, oh, this particular company performed badly or this did very well. It's not an examination scorecard. It's basically an opportunity for you to take a lot of risk and run a lot of experiments. And some of those experiments, just given the nature of luck or serendipity or optionality, may work out. We've just finished a program with 10 companies, and one of the companies came in with the idea of focusing mostly on B2C. It's on the invoice financing business. And we gave them feedback that maybe you should do B2B stuff. It's a much bigger market, and you can work with a large number of telco companies and enterprise clients. And they exposed that feedback, and that optionality is opened up for them in the B2B market, and hopefully it'll be a much bigger outcome for them if they do a few right things. Another thing I want to talk about, what makes your stay during a program and even after the program successful, is you can't improve what you don't measure. That's a very common saying in the engineering world. So what's important is you've got to have all your key performance indicators, all your different metrics that can give you some kind of a dashboard to monitor your performance. And that's useful because you can keep that dashboard updated, and you can share that with potential investors to start engaging with angels right from the first week of the accelerator, saying this is what we were when we came in. And over time, they can see your journey and how the KPIs have actually improved. The second thing you want to do is keep some kind of a CRM. Some people actually keep a CRM using an Excel sheet. Other people may use something more structured like a Zoho account. Just keep a record of all the meetings that you have, because you're going to be meeting with close to 30 to 40 people every week, and you're going to forget who you discussed what with, and it's important for you to be able to follow up with them and what the status of all those meetings happens to be. So keep track of all of that. And then keep a learnings journal as well. It's almost like keeping a diary during the course of the program. Every day, if you write down the 3 or 4 different key learnings that you made, some mentor feedback, or some other CEO from another company told you, or excuse me, some investor who you met told you something that really opened your eyes or had a little brainwave on a particular idea, chronicle all those different things, and you'll realize that at the end of the 90-day period, you've got an encyclopedia of knowledge that you can actually build on. This is related to the point about 1% learning every day. I'm a big believer in improving yourself every day and how compounding really helps you. Einstein talked about how compounding is the seventh wonder of the world, or eighth wonder of the world. It really is something that can work to your advantage during an accelerator program. If you improve 1% every day, you're going to be close to multiples of that better by the time you finish the program. What do I mean by that? Absorb the learnings that you're getting through all the master classes, through all the founders' talks, and through all the regular programming that the accelerator is giving to you on things like negotiating a term sheet. A law firm may come and tell you, here are the different contracts or types of terms that you need to be aware of, and here are the different contracts around IP licensing and assignment or some kind of joint development. So if all those things you can just keep learning every day, you'll build up, and suddenly at the end of 90 days, there'll be a massive body of learning that you'll actually benefit from. And the mistake that I see a lot of early-stage entrepreneurs make is that, oh, we've done this in college. I went to MBA school. I know what this is. It's not about having a closed mindset. It's all about opening yourself up, because a lot of mentors are going to give you conflicting advice. We have 100 mentors in our program, and one mentor will say, oh, you've got to sell in this geography. The other mentor will say, that's a waste of time. You've got to sell in this geography. That's conflicting advice. So part of what you have to do is have a very open and growth mindset and have the capacity to hold two competing ideas in your head at the same time, and then sit down with your team at the end of the day or at the end of the week and figure out what's the right course of action for you between those two competing ideas. And don't go in with a lot of different biases. If you go in with a bias on some particular topic, then the accelerator is a complete waste of time. The accelerator is an opportunity for you to grow, to develop, to improve your faculties around different areas of knowledge that you can gain through those weeks and months that you're spending in the program. So it's very, very important that you leave your biases at the door and expose yourself to a lot of fresh thinking. That's about all I wanted to talk about. I don't know if we have time for questions or if that's even allowed over here, but I wanted to thank all of you for your time. I'll be around today. I'm here tomorrow as well, and I'd be very happy to engage with each one of you and tell you more about accelerators, or if you want to learn more about Techstars. And finally, I just want to thank Startup Lithuania for an excellent startup fair. So thank you very much.